It's October. Well, this calls for some redecoration. That's it.
I actually really love this time of year. No more sweating in your car in the summer heat, stalked by rabid dogs, or needing to cool off swimming in the river with killer sharks. Nope, it's October, which means we're ready for the best holiday ever. Christmas.
At least according to retail stores, they really can't wait, can they?
Christmas wants to take up space in October so much, well, fine. We'll just celebrate Christmas with spooky skeletons and pumpkins and ghosts and all things amazing. As it turns out, there's a movie made just for that with The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange?
So Tim Burton was working as an animator for Disney back in the early 80s, first with Fox and the Hound, though his artwork doesn't have that Disney look, so he was stuck with working on backgrounds. When Black Cauldron came into production, Tim was hired to work, but again, his artwork was not what the Disney company really wanted. They wanted brighter colors and soft lines in their artwork. What Tim wanted to do was much darker with duller colors and sharp angles. He met Rick Hendricks and the two collaborated first with a live-action Hansel and Gretel TV special. It was, interesting. Tim and Rick then worked on two other projects, a stop-motion short film called Vincent and Frankenweenie. No, the other one. This Frankenweenie got Tim fired from Disney, claiming he was wasting money making videos that were too off-putting, too scary for kids. And while making Vincent, Tim was writing sketches and small snippets of a poem that would later become The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Now, copyright laws are weird, but bear with me.
Because Tim made the poem and sketches working at Disney and he was pushing the idea to make it a 30-minute short within Disney, the company owned the rights. So when Tim was fired in 1984, he couldn't shop around the idea at other studios. A couple years go by and oh, looky here, someone just made a bunch of movies that made all the money in the world. Now it's 1991 and Tim Burton is back in Disney working on what the company is hoping for is another Little Mermaid or Beauty and the Beast. Another animated movie that will push the company forward into what was called the Disney Renaissance. This was evident in their first trailer for Nightmare, focusing on the animation much more than anything else.
From the beginning, Walt Disney established a tradition of innovation. From the world's first full-length animated feature, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, to the new photographic techniques introduced in 101 Dalmatians, the combination of animation and live action in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and the dazzling use of computer technology in Beauty and the Beast. Now, Walt Disney Pictures is joining forces with Tim Burton, the creative genius behind Batman, Beetlejuice, and Edward Scissorhands, to bring you one of the most extraordinary and exciting motion pictures of our time, The Nightmare Before Christmas, coming to theaters everywhere for the 1993 holiday season from Walt Disney Pictures.
The problem? The Little Mermaid and Beast were fairy tales with what was then a fresh but still classic interpretation. And Burton was fired from Disney because his ideas didn't fit that style. But the deal was made and Burton teamed up with people he worked with in the past to make Nightmare, and later on his poem was published as a storybook.
I've covered outside the normal adaptation treatment on this channel in the past, but here we have a storybook that is both a template for the movie, but also its own published work.
I don't have an original copy of the book from 1993. The new editions advertise new drawings and lines. I don't know what new drawings or lines were added, but this is the edition people will get if they feel like picking up a copy from the store, and you will be surprised if you expected an exact retelling of the movie. The movie went through a 3-year-long process, moving from a planned 30-minute short to full length. In that process, a lot needed to be added. The book focuses on just Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King from Halloween Town, and like the movie we see him feeling bored and tired with scaring people, and he wants something more in life. He comes across in the book 3 doors instead of the movie 7, and finds Christmas Town where he straight up just steals everything.
And so that his friends wouldn't think him a liar, he took the present-filled stockings that hung by the fire. He took candy and toys that were stacked on the shelves, and a picture of Santa with all of his elves. He took lights and ornaments, and the star from the tree, and from the Christmas town sign,
He took the big letter C. Jack is an asshole!
I mean, he's not malicious, he's not mean, and his enthusiasm is very contagious, but when he's caught up in the moment, there is no getting to him. He has absolutely no second thought, no problem with kidnapping a man, assuming his identity, and leave him at the mercy of people he knows can't be trusted, if it means getting what he wants. This characterization stays with him in the movie almost all the way through. On the positive side, he does learn his lesson when he finds out his version of Christmas is not really enjoyed by everyone, except maybe people like me and Blink-182.
Darkness in the valley, we can live like Jack and Sally if we want, where you can always find me, and we'll have Halloween on Christmas.
Santa Claus in both book and movie don't have much to do in either version. In the book, Jack offers Santa the job of the Pumpkin King for next Halloween, without asking if he ever even wanted the job, which leaves him to appear in the end of the story when Jack is at his worst. He comes to him as a caring and understanding Father Christmas to offer his wisdom, but Tim's artwork seems a little off.
My dear Jack, I applaud your intent. I know wreaking such havoc was not what you meant.
This is the face of applauding. The storybook has no villain, leaving the movie to make Oogie Boogie, to both keep Santa hostage as opposed to keeping him hostage in Halloween Town, and also to add to the movie's runtime, making a villain to stop in the end.
Maybe I'm just getting older. Or maybe I'm beginning to sympathize with Santa after everything he's been through.
I'd listen to her. She's the only one who makes any sense around this insane asylum. Skeletons.
Technically, most of the residences of Halloween Town are in the book, but they're background characters. Literally, just in the background. And sadly, that also includes Sally. Despite this being Jack's story, a lot of people gravitated towards Sally in this movie. Her character and backstory is very sympathetic. She's the softer resident of Halloween Town and the most level-headed. She understands Jack's depression, his hope to find something more, similar to how she wants something more, being held captive by her creator, constantly poisoning him with hope to escape.
You know, when you put it that way, one definitely tugs at the heartstrings more than the other.
Nightmare was originally planned to be a 30-minute short, and I think if it ended up that way, it wouldn't have the same ring with audiences the way it did. Good ideas were made and added, bringing out Sally and the other residences, making them more fleshed out, even if that flesh is melting. Creating a villain so Jack and what he does looks better by comparison. And most importantly, having Danny Elfman on board, making it a musical.
With your permission, I'm going to do my stuff.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to do the best I can.
Before this movie had a script, Tim would talk with Danny about these scenes and ideas about what is happening in the story. Like, Danny needed to make a scene that was everything Halloween. Pumpkins and monsters and ghosts. People needed to hear a song and have no doubt in their minds that this is Halloween.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween.
Yeah, like that, or when we needed a song to show the Halloween people making Christmas instead of Santa's elves this time.
This time, it's making Christmas, la la la.
Yeah, like that. Danny had this idea that Nightmare wouldn't so much be a musical as it would an opera, and it really shows. The difference being an opera carries a story with little to no dialogue, where a musical is a story with a song coming in to break the story. There's 11 songs in this movie, and that's a lot. And all of them not just fit the story, they pretty much are the story. The script was written and finished to work around the songs. The Disney company wanted to distance itself from this movie, which is hard to believe with its logo everywhere now. Originally releasing Nightmare in only 2 theaters, then to 500, and finally nationwide.
It gained a strong cult following, but still, when it was released on video, it had the Touchstone logo, not Disney.
There's plenty of reasons why this movie had a following that only grew more and more over the years. Yeah, this was the first full-length stop-motion movie, and the music is fantastic and gets in your head, and the romance is cute between Jack and Sally. The story is enjoyable, but plenty of other Disney movies do this. Nightmare is different. Not just the animation, but the art. I've kept talking about Burton, but Henry Selick was the director, and with Burton's art and Selick's directing, you have this combination of both Christmas whimsy and gothic reflection. This was back in 1993, and goth was a small subculture that was on the edge of mainstream culture, poking it in the side. Nightmare came at a perfect time, and we're going to talk about that perfect time in the next episode. This is CB Smith, and thanks for taking a page.